Do you prospect based on category, or do you prospect based on criteria? Hey folks, this is Ronnie Cruz with another episode of Dream Builders Club. Okay, so in this episode we're going to talk about the differences between prospecting based on category and prospecting based on criteria. Now, what do I mean by that, category versus criteria? Well, to start off with, what I want you guys to know is that you should be prospecting based on criteria. That is, people meeting a certain level of standard that makes them ideal for your product or services, or for your business opportunity, as opposed to prospecting, in terms of category, or what categories people fit into. That's kind of a trap, right? Where it's very misleading. You might have somebody that's in an attractive category. They're very influential. That individual has a very successful career. They know a lot of people. They have a huge network. They graduated college with honors. Whatever it might be. Those are categories. And the same thing with the opposite. Like I movie theater usher, make minimum wage. That's a category, right? I was a C student in high school, a C student in college. Those are categories that I could potentially be grouped into. And the thing with categories is, as much as we want to believe that a certain category is more suited for this business opportunity or for network marketing, and therefore makes them a better candidate for you to talk to, the reality of it is, it doesn't matter what category a person comes from, or what category you put a person into. That's not really going to make too much of a bearing on whether or not they're going to do this business with you, or B, be any good at it, right? For me, I would rather have you guys think of prospecting in a way of criteria, and really knocking out criteria to see if somebody is a good candidate for your business. There are a handful of criterias, and of course, you can tailor make and suit whatever works for you as far as the criterias. But in my opinion, there are definitely two criterias that you need to look for when you're prospecting. The first one is, does this person want to make a change in their life? Which I would wager to say is a lot of people, if not a majority of the people. So that's one criteria. But the second criteria is even more important, though, and that is if they're willing to actually do something about it, right? So do they want to make a change in their life, and are they willing to do something about it? With those two criteria, if somebody fits those two, those two criteria, in my opinion, that's somebody I can work with. You know what I mean? That's somebody I can, and would at least be willing to show this business to, because otherwise, I don't know if there's a need there, right? If it's just based on category, and I'm just trying to get somebody in because I think he knows a lot of people, then that's just so much effort that's wasted, in my opinion, because you never know what they're looking for. But if you spend enough time, figuring out if they fit in that criteria, in those two criteria, then that's something you can work with. And of course, how do you figure out if they fit in those criteria in the first place? Well, that's asking questions, being concerned, getting to know more about them, and not really focusing so much on trying to pitch them on your deal, right? Identify the need, and identify whether or not they fit those two criteria. Because honestly, if somebody had recruited me based on my category, I would never have gotten an approach for this business in the first place, right? Again, I was a movie theater usher making minimum wage, living at home with mom and dad. On paper, C student, both college, high school, big time slacker. On paper, not necessarily would look like the ideal candidate for this profession, but here I am. You know why? Because I had a desire to make a change in my life, and I was actually willing to do something about it. So that's the distinction between prospecting in terms of category versus criteria, and I would certainly hope that you guys, if you're looking at people in terms of category, really switch that up and start thinking in terms of criteria. And I think that's going to go a long way to helping your prospecting efforts. So with that, this is Ronnie Cruz signing out. Until next time, catch you on the next episode of Dream Builders Club.